Hey people, welcome to the channel, and in this video we're going to be looking at, this is the Puma Velocity Nitro 2. I've just taken it for a 3-hour, 18-mile first run test, fresh out the box, and in this video I'm going to be telling you if this should be your new daily trainer. So first up, some really quick details then. Well, the Velocity Nitro 2 has got a 10mm drop. That's a stack of 33.5mm in the heel, 23.5mm in the toe. It weighs 241 grams or 8.5 ounces in the women's, 289 grams or 10.2 ounces in the men's. It's going to cost you £100 in the UK, $120 in the US, and just shy of 120 euros in Europe. Really quick whip round of this shoe then. Basically, you've got a shoe that's very similar to the original Velocity Nitro. The two, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think that's kind of what Puma have gone for here. You've got the same Nitro midsole foam, very kind of responsive, very kind of nice and soft underfoot. You've got a 10mm drop, not a huge high stack of this, but just enough. This is a little bit more like an older sort of more traditional shoe rather than one of those kind of maximalist cushion shoes, but more on that later. Up top, you've got sort of classic kind of engineered mesh that's fairly dense. It's fairly thick. It's kind of soft on the inside under the toes, actually, and then you've got the mesh kind of sitting over the top. That makes for quite a thick layer, which possibly could be quite warm, but also makes the inside of this around the sort of the top of the toes really sort of nice and soft and plush. Towards the back, you've got plenty of kind of heel collar padding here, but not overdone. Again, on the run, that's sort of super comfortable, hugs the heel, holds it nicely in place, and that cush goes right deep down there into the kind of heel counter, and it's really sort of soft up and around these bits that sit below the ankles. You've got a gusseted tongue here as well that goes all the way down. It's a nice thin tongue, tiny little bit of padding here, but in the right place, so just when you kind of lace down, that feels kind of nice on the foot. You don't get any of that kind of lace sort of pinching or pressure when you kind of want to try and get a good lockdown. That's all really good. There's a couple of sort of reflective details here. I'm never really sure entirely about reflective details. To keep you a little bit safer, maybe catch some kind of headlights. Flip them over and you've got PumaGrip, which we loved with the Velocity Nitro, and this feels the same. I've not really run in the wet, it's been dry for this kind of first run, but you know, you can see the sort of traction pattern here. I think this is going to do a really good job like the original Velocity Nitro did when you get into kind of wet conditions too. And then if there's anything I've missed here, I'm going to be doing a full review. If you want any more details about what's in this shoe, the build and the design, then feel free to hit me up in the comments below and I will answer those questions next time in the full review. But let's get on to the run test. So I'm coming up to 15 miles into what is going to be roughly around a kind of 19 mile, maybe I've done 2.5 hours, but it's going to be like a 3-hour plus run. First run in the Puma Velocity Nitro 2, fresh out the box. And it's been a joy to run in these today, actually. From the moment I put them on, they kind of disappear on the foot. They have felt a little bit long when I first put them on. I haven't noticed that too much on the run, but overall, these are a shoe I feel like I'm going to get along with a lot. I was a fan of the original Velocity Nitro. I used it as one of the shoes in my 7 marathons in 7 days, and it coped really well when I was kind of, I think it was like marathon 6. So it's a shoe that I definitely know that I can run long in the original. And this one I think is going to do exactly the same kind of job, maybe even a little bit better. It's very, very comfortable. My foot is held really nicely in place without being claustrophobic from those kind of nicely sort of padded heel collar down into the kind of heel counter as well. And then the uppers, hugging, not too restrictive, maybe a little bit warm. It's been a fairly sort of mild day today, not too hot, but I think maybe on sunnier days it might not be as breathable as some other shoes. It never really bothers me too much, that. But then you go to what's happening underfoot, and that Nitro foam is doing a really, really good job here. And it's got a well-balanced ride, which kind of fits my bill perfectly. It's soft, it's not really squidgy, it's responsive, but not really aggressively so. It feels really well balanced for what I've been doing this run in, which is kind of below 130 beats per minute, moving along at what is kind of somewhere between like a 9-minute and an 11-minute per mile pace, which is kind of my sort of really easy conversational pace. And they've been brilliant for that. I've done some on the tarmac, I'm doing some on these kind of river paths that you can see behind me, and it's all been really quite effortless, really quite light, nimble, agile. Feet have felt well protected, legs have felt well protected as well, but I haven't, you know, there's enough rebound without feeling like it's interrupting my stride. It's quite a natural shoe to run in, and I've really enjoyed that. Actually, that fits what I go for in a running shoe. I don't like something that is too interruptive, and this is doing a cracking job. I guess the other thing to say here is, although I've been doing these kind of slow paces, I do feel like this is a shoe that's going to have good versatility in it too. I do think it's going to cope when I want to pick up the pace slightly and push slightly higher paces, not all out paces, but you know, ticking over some faster miles. I think it's going to do a really good job at that as well. So, you know, when you look at the price of this as well, it kind of still, like the old generation, the other Puma shoes we've tested, represents potentially really, really good value for money for a shoe you can drop into your rotation that'll cover you off for quite a lot of different runs. And yeah, I think it's going to have a lot going for it. I'm really looking forward to putting in more miles in it just to see. Tomorrow I'm going to go and race a half marathon where I'm going to wear this shoe and see what happens, maybe when I'm moving a little faster, provided my legs after this run will let me. I keep thinking of other things to note. I'm wearing a backpack that's got an extra kind of 4 or 5 kilos in it as well, so I'm about an 83 kilo runner, so you're looking, that's pushing me up to 90 kilos, which I'll have to flash on the screen what it is in pounds. But you know, even with that extra weight on board that I was normally running, this shoe is coping really well. It's not feeling like it's sort of hammering me into the ground. It's providing good enough protection. So yeah, even with a bit of extra weight, this is good. Now the good thing about that is in a couple of months I'm going to be doing something which requires me to run the equivalent of a marathon a day for 70 days. I'm looking for a shoe that's going to help me go through that kind of effortless kind of, not effortless, it's not going to be effortless, it's going to be very difficult, but to help me go with those kind of easy miles, rolling miles, going to cope with a lot of distance at slow paces. I'm thinking about some of the shoes like the Cloud Monster. I was thinking about the Speed Go even, because some of it's going to be slightly off-road. And just from this first run, I think the Velocity Nitro 2 are now basically in that ballpark as well. One for consideration. So on fit then, I'm running in a UK 8.5, which is my size. I think that in terms of the kind of main fit around the heel, locked down across the top of the foot, and that kind of the way the mesh hugs, I think I would go true to size. The only oddity here with these shoes is that they're a little bit long in the toe box. I'm finding, I mean, there's a good kind of space at the front of the toe. I think they're just like half an inch, maybe sort of near an inch too long for me, which I have this feeling is going to make the toes curl up over time. It's a bit of an odd sensation where you're not quite in control of the end of that. If you like a slightly longer toe box, and that's going to be fine. I don't think I would half a size down though, because I think everything else would feel too snug if I did. So my first run verdict after around what's going to be 20 miles is that these shoes, like the first gen, they feel like a sweet spot shoe to me. Good versatility, they've got good balance, cushion and protection with response, not too sinky, not too squishy, not too firm, kind of a bit of Goldilocks going on here for runs. I think from easy up to something that's sort of slightly faster in your run, so there's great versatility. They feel comfortable with the uppers. I think they hold the foot nice. I think Puma might have done it again here with a really, really good shoe, and that's actually at a very good price point and probably will represent really good value for money. So first run has been a big thumbs up from me. Looking forward to putting more miles into them and trying to change up some of the paces, testing how the durability copes as well once there's more miles in them. But so far so good with the Puma Velocity Nitro 2. I think this is a very good solid shoe. There you have it, 18 miles done. That's my first run verdict on the new Puma Velocity Nitro 2. I'm going to be doing a full review of these, including a race test, half marathon race test video that I'll be doing tomorrow for the channel. If you have any questions in the meantime, things you want to know about these shoes, please hit me up in the comments. I'll endeavour to answer those questions when I come to the full review or even tomorrow's race test video. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the channel. Share the video to people who are looking for a good everyday kind of easy miling shoe, versatile daily trainer. And yeah, I've been Kieran. It's been a pleasure to talk to you about this shoe, and we'll see you again soon.